So since you started learning social media marketing, how would you say things are going so far?
Within my first, from starting the courses, tackling them, I made it my complete priority to dive in. From
Hmm.
starting them and completing them in a span of 6 weeks, I had acquired three clients.
How are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
Good, good. Busy day. Super excited to talk today. We have a lot of wins to talk about. But just to get things started here, please introduce yourself, your name, what you do for work. If it's very different from social media marketing, what got you interested in this?
So, I've always been a writer and I've published many things before. So, I kind of had a little bit of a feel of how to draw in an audience. Most people that I've observed, we all kind of funneled into the online world with social medias and how to generate revenue, et cetera, et cetera. So for years, I've seen lots of options that have presented themselves, and I'm a tough sell. I saw this picture, and I'll say it as I thought it. Who is this pretty Filipino boy trying to tell me something here that I've already heard a million times? And I decided to click on it. If this was Rene's little ad, or how he's promoting Rockstar Marketing in the thing, in Instagram. So I just listened to a little bit more. I went, well, I can do those if I have the tools. I think that is something that's right up my alley. I went a little further, and I know I was tough. I was sassy, and basically took your money and ran. And I have to say, he handled me right, meaning like he was just real. All I could think of was, if this is just the introduction to what the company has to show, I would like to know what's deeper. And so, yeah, from the start of me being open to clicking a little further, I have found myself now in a space where this is what I am currently doing for part of my revenue stream.
You have an idea of like what people like. Like obviously, if you're a writer, right? You know, when people read your words, you're expecting to feel a certain emotion, make them laugh, make them smile, make them feel memories, things like that, right? So it's, I guess, and there is a lot of things out there, right? Sometimes you get into things and you're just like, hey, I don't know if I'm getting into the right thing. But I'm glad that our team was able to like talk to you in a way where it's like, hey, you can make money from this, but at the end of the day, like if you put the time and effort into it, you could be successful whenever you want to be. Would you agree?
I completely agree. But I have to say, like, for anybody, no matter whether it's business or self-healing or whatever you're getting into, if you can resonate with the people you are dealing with, and you can feel their realness and their priority to care about your success,
Agreed.
I feel like it's not just a task I do in a place I went to learn. It is my community, and I've made some really wonderful connections.
So when I'm on the live calls, or I look I look in the student wins, or I look in the group in the chats, you are very very active. That's something that like I you can't teach that as a coach. So since you started learning social media marketing, how would you say things are going so far?
Within my first, from starting the courses, tackling them, I made it my complete priority to dive in. From
Hmm.
starting them and completing them in a span of 6 weeks, I had acquired three clients.
Three clients. Okay, so you joined in. I believe you said July.
July 4th.
Do you mind if I ask what you're offering each client and how much each client is?
Well, each client is a different range for what they need, right? One was just all and only about wanting Google ads.
Okay.
And when I saw everything that he needed and the Google business profile that needed to be amplified, everything, I charged 2K a month for a 90-day contract, and that we would reevaluate after.
And then what about the next client? That
Next client only wants social media. So,
okay.
got to buffer
This is
around that. And
everything, Michelle.
yes. So then also then the Google business page, et cetera, et cetera. So I kicked off the first month at 1,200, and then we went to, then now everything's in place. So went to 800 for the next 2 months.
And then your latest client.
The latest client, we are finalizing that this week. What we've decided, because yes, there is no set price for everything. In my experience, because everyone does need something different. This person
Great.
has a great Google business profile, but they have not answered 600 emails or contacts. Like when people leave posts on the Google business profile, and like they leave a comment, they haven't answered like almost 600 of them. So I'm going to come in, help with that, do this, organize, get everything on point for them, and then do their posting. So that's going to be, again, the 1100 for the first month to do that, 1100 the second month, and then probably the third month will be around 8 or 850, because we'll decide right then how the postings are going to go.
In the span of 3 or 4 months, that's freaking amazing. I think one thing too that you do really, really well is you also diagnose each client almost like a doctor does. You're not just going to give them like, oh, you have a headache. Well, I'm just going to give you, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you have a specific problem. Let's dive deeper. Let me see what the actual problem is. And based off of that, you're giving off your value, and your pricing is very, very different. Like pretty much what you said earlier is like, hey, you can tell when like the person you're trying to do business with actually cares. That's the part you can't teach, and that's the part you have. So again, I'm super proud of you. That's freaking awesome. From the point you came in, what do you feel like was the biggest? We touched on it a little bit earlier. What do you feel like is the biggest thing you needed to learn? What do you feel like you really needed to learn from us in order to be successful?
The technical side and applications for me, right?
Mm.
Because I do have the creative background. But yeah, so it was just learning all the steps that are behind the scenes that was not made known to me before.
And you can be honest here. How hard was it to learn the technical stuff? Because when I was a student going through this, that was I'm more creative than I am technical as well. So I was looking at like Facebook ads, all these different stuff, all the Facebook ads, Google ads, like so confused. So, how was it for you to learn? What was like your learning curve like?
For me, I without I won't fib on that. It took me a couple plays on the instructional videos, just because it was like all of a sudden being dropped into Japan and being expected to speak Japanese, and I've never even been, I've only been to a Japanese restaurant once, so being ignorant does not mean that you are stupid. Being ignorant just means you don't know until you know. So I was very ignorant to this until I was versed in it. And now I like that
Awesome.
my knowledge has expanded into this realm.
That is awesome. Now it's like you every time you see an ad, you see a commercial, you're scrolling on social media, you don't look at it the same way you used to.
That is correct.
And
Yep.
I do have one last thing to ask you. If there's anything you could say to someone who's been in the same position you were before, or even looking to achieve the same goals as you, what would you say to that person?
I did, and I have done this. I mentioned Rockstar Marketing to a couple individuals. They wanted to do it, but they can't see themselves sitting behind a computer for a moment. So, but if someone is looking to change lanes, broaden their horizon, generate revenue, uh, and become more well versed in a unstoppable tech forward age, that I mean, it's already here, it's been here, it's not going anywhere, it's just going to be more and more. So it doesn't hurt to have more of this knowledge, but if you can also make money at it, why not? So I would tell them to give this a consideration, and I would direct them to the people I've connected with so that they can have their own resonance. Yeah.
Being uncomfortable, that is kind of required in it too. So, but if you're able to go through that, right? If you're able to be uncomfortable comfortably, eventually you get familiar with it, and you're able to reach success. But awesome. Michelle, thank you again for your insight. It's been a pleasure. On that, thank you.
All right. Thank you.